Tonight's show, the topic is, can we unify the divide? The divide in society, but also the divide between our minds and our soul. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Doesn't look like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You like to summon your end table that you this too.
My God, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You might be hard on your right knee when you're running. Make sure you're not too hard on the right knee.
100%.
Okay.
Honey, I'm a runway walker. Okay.
I don't know what she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won. You won.
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here? We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk shit, repeat shit. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday Night Live, everybody. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. Actually, I should say hello, beautiful souls. I forgot. It's been a couple weeks since I've been on. And boy, has a lot happened in just a couple weeks since we saw each other last. Took a week down, some downtime, and I think I'll continue my live show every week, but there might be times I just take a little bit of a week off and so forth. So I'll be back pretty much every week. There might be a week I'm going to just need some downtime. So I was thinking about it and like, I was just feeling a little burnout. And so, but now I had a little refresher. I'm like, no, I like my Thursdays. And so I'll just keep you guys posted if there's like a week I take off and so forth. So I took some time to think about that. So I wasn't being too extreme. And boy, has a lot happened, especially in the state of our world. And as I've been saying for September, it's very dense. I've said it's time to ground. It's been a point where we de-ground ourselves now and ground ourselves in our voice. And that will come across with the collective read as well. And especially a lot of Christopher and I said Virgo season is always like a lot of people pass on. There's a lot of deaths in Virgo season. We've been seeing a lot of this too. A lot of unfortunate ones. We had, I forgot the woman's name that on the subway. I don't have notes here. I always just kind of wing it. But the poor woman that got stabbed in the subway. There was a two African-American young males that were, lynched in a tree. They just found out. They're investigating. And of course, the unfortunate assassination of Charlie Kirk. So we've had a lot of this heaviness. And so I'm not to get into deep about the Charlie Kirk situation. There's too many people bickering about it online. But my stance has always been that one, political violence is never okay. This is not how we resolve things. And so I do want to give my perspective. I feel like I have a responsibility to, because people can say, well, say something about the matter. And my heart hurts for the fact that this is the state of our society. My heart hurts, and my heart hurts for his children and those who had to witness that in person. And although I don't agree with a lot of his views or stances on things, I commend him for the platform that he's created for himself. And I encourage that we all need to have that platform to share our perspective, to share our voices, and bring up the opportunity for debate. Whether or not I agree with how he did it or not is irrelevant. The fact is, it brought people to stand up with their voices too. And so this is what we need to do more of. And this is part of our country. That's how we form new ideas. That's how we form new inspiration. And so his life was cut short unnecessarily, in my opinion. 31, had so much more time to expand his perspective and so much more time to create a new message, and so No one deserves that. And so to me, I do not celebrate the passing, even though I disagreed with a lot. And I used to watch hours and hours of Charlie Kirk, my lunch breaks, because I'm always fascinated about what's going on in our culture. And especially with this left-right divide stuff, like what's really going on. And so I was fascinated. And I can actually listen to people I don't agree with, commend them. And so many people don't understand that aspect. They feel like you have to agree. If you don't agree, you're this, you're evil, and all this like childish bickering going on in our society. And so that's the disease I always talk about. And so moving on from Charlie Kirk, as much as I feel like that is not how we perform, and I feel like we should, even in his passing, should not be so divisive either, and hear each other through. And those that support him and support his work, you should be curious on why people don't, why people are affected by a message. You should want to know, instead of shutting them down and also, calling names. The name calling I see from grown adults, it's like we're in preschool. It's ridiculous. Grow up, people. We can agree. We could also disagree. That's the whole point we're always going to. Everyone has a different way they're going to see what's best for reality. But I always say, my stance is, it's all about what's best for all humanity. It's not how one sees fit. It's how we all see fit. And so it's people who want to live a hyper-Christian life and traditional life, go for it. Enjoy it. I admire that. But don't try to change other people who want to think outside the box either. And those who are trying to think outside the box, don't try to enforce that on people who want to be traditional. Why can't we go back to preschool and live and let live? Let people live their lives they want to live. If they're not hurting anybody, let them live. Let people say what they're going to say. We can show them differently by the lives we live. And I think this should be the message and the lessons that we learned from his passing, is that why can't we just let people be? We have to go back to preschool. Right? So my heart hurts, and I don't celebrate that. I don't celebrate anybody's passing. And so it's saddening to me this is where we're at. And so he had a lot of great potential to expand on his message, especially at 18, was a college dropout and started his own company. How many of us people who are defending him are doing such? We should start doing such, those who maybe have an opposing view to that. Why don't you start your own platforms too and preach your love and kindness message? But I will say this, I will only support those who are trying to break out of this left-right paradigm. I don't support those who are, it's the left, it's the right, and all that crap, because many people in our society don't identify as left or right. So we have to stop rallying up people who are going to try to pick, I have to pick the right or I have to pick the left. This is the disease. So we got to break out of that and understand it's about the evolution of all of us collectively, about coexisting, period. It's not more complicated than that. But everyone deserves a right to express their point of view, and everyone deserves the right to share their ideas, whether you agree or not. We all have the right to do so. And those of you who are preaching that are being hypocritical, because when people are disagreeing, you shut them down and name calling. I'm seeing a lot of that crap online. And it's like, grow up, okay? We all have the right to express our feelings. And especially when everyone's coming from a place of empathy, most people are in disagreement of how we love each other. Or we're disagreeing and trying to fight about, how we decide to show empathy. It's like, we all are really fighting about how we show empathy? Really? How about just understand we all have empathy? Period. And find a way to coexist. Go back to basics, okay? I didn't want to spend too much time on that but I've had some disgusting comments from LOL from people who are on extreme sides of the spectrum because I was trying to preach neutrality, because I wasn't siding with their political party sport, and I never will, so get over it and deal with it. I will never side with your political party, ever, because that is the disease of our culture. So get over it. And any type of comments I see on my page will be blocked and banned from the platform. We're not here to build that type of culture. We're here to build a culture that's inclusive, expansive, and open with idea, whether it be someone we agree with or disagree with. And the one thing I will not tolerate, I will love people who disagree, but I will not tolerate that segregation energy. That's where I draw my line. That's my boundary. That's my threshold. All right. So moving on from all that, I definitely want to make that very simple about my stance on things, because some people seem to, no matter how much I try to express it, seem to don't get it, because somehow their two brain cells are not working together on that, because they're left, right, bobblehead. So moving on, let's use Chatty Cathy in the room. But all you guys who follow me are so level-headed and open-minded. There's a couple other platforms of mine that are not so much that way, but you guys are all pretty much open. You guys want what's best for all, and that's the point, and that's what we should be preaching and continuing on. So Jennifer Cruz, David Cruz, my mother and father, welcome aboard. Brenda Zweck, good to see you. Darby Mabry, good to see you as well. Ketra's Oracle Magic, good to see you. Bright Light Beckaboo, hello, good to see you as well. Lisa Cruz, my sister from the same Mista. I was getting over a sinus infection that was dragging out in this density of September, and we'll get into that with the collective read. I'm still like freaking tired. How many of y'all been tired? How many of y'all feeling like this like density, and it's like very dense in this month of September, excuse me. So now my sister's got the sinus infection. So hope you're feeling better, my sister. I'll give you the stats and work you through the sinus infections. And my sister, we have the same allergic reactions to avocado, and so it's funny. Iggy, can't you see? Good to see you back. You're back on track. Yes, please unify the divide in the back of my pants as well. Well, at least you have an escape route for all that gas you have from that pickle juice that you've been consuming. Wonderful Mod Nina is in the room. If you want to get your questions in, get them in now. 15 for a card pull, 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, 40 for a live video with me, and the live video can only be through through Venmo, excuse me, because I can only respond to your payment through Venmo. I can't comment on PayPal. And with Venmo, I will send you the link to call in if you want to do a live video. Linda Jane, good to see you. And the PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below. And a wonderful Mondina will help you with that if you have any questions or problems. How did I get here? Great name. Good to see you, Kate. Yo, hello. James Porterfield. What's up, man? Yo, Cruiser Sam. Hope everyone's having fun riding these energetic waves. I had a few nice wipeouts, but I'm still getting on the board. Of course, James, you got it within you. Brother, you got this. I mean, come on. How many times I got to say that? Sometimes you just not got to hear it all the time. You got it. Caroline Canton, good to see you. Thank you so much for that response. I appreciate your voice so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. And I appreciate your appreciation. Always. It means a lot to me, all your appreciation, guys. Allie Teller, good to see you, my love. It's been some time. It's good to see your beautiful face. Linda Jane. My mom says, amen. Hallelujah. Tommy Garasi, good to see you as well. And let me just kind of speed this up here. I think that's everybody for now. Oh, and Kristen Villarreal, good to see you. It's been some time as well. Hopefully we're getting back into our Thursday cruise. Sparkling Grit, hello. Yes, you're also exhausted. I know. So, guys, take the time. I've been talking with Nina during the week. I'm like, Nina, nurture the hell out of yourself. And so, yeah, please do so. Okay. Those who are new, Ron G, good to see you as well. All right, let's get these cards shuffling. I'm going to start with the collective read. Those who are new, I start with the collective read. I use tarot to do so. I don't need tarot, but it's good to kind of inspire me in collective purposes. I'm a psychic medium. I can just hop on in and read y'all a filth. And usually that filth turns into something very nice and very exciting. So, but let's shuffle these cards, see what's up for the week ahead. Now, just to remind you guys, it's all about, we talked about September, especially my September energetic forecast from a couple weeks ago about grounding. And so you guys should be doing that. So grounding also means that you're taking your time to relax and unwind too. And sometimes illnesses help us to ground us. I hate to say that. Sometimes those illnesses ground us into unwind, relax, exhale, and maybe think about, have I been too hard on myself or others these days? And so that's what's wonderful about the grounding energy. But let's see what we could talk about moving forward. I feel like during these times, we just need like going back to basics, man. That kind of feels like what's going to go ahead with this message, but let me just keep shuffling and see. Okay, She-Wolf, good to see you. Welcome aboard. All right, let's see. Let's shuffle these cards. All right. Where's my oracle cards? Bear with me a second. All right, this makes sense. All right, beginnings. All right, wisdom. Okay, imbalance. All right. Okay, give me a couple seconds. Let me tune in and we'll begin. Okay. So, yes, back to basics. So continuing what I was saying before the message of grounding, it is time to go back to basics. But what is your basics? What is your core fundamental? The Lovers card comes up, right? So we're not talking about lovers when it comes to romantic love. We're talking about love within. What is the core foundation of where love truly derives from within you? Because without fear, without anger, without pain, there would be no love. Or without love, there would not be, and I should probably reverse that. Without love, there would be no anger, pain, frustration, and all this stuff that we're experiencing today. So we need to kind of go back to basics, clear out the fragmentation, look down within and say, where's the love really deriving from, or the lack of? And how can I bring that back into my new identity? You see, because going to Libra season shortly, I really feel that Libra season is going to start bringing up that idea of like, what is my new identity? I'm going to start changing the way I've been expressing myself, a new version of myself. Perhaps I've been following the politics too much and I'm not resonating with either bit of it. So what's my new identity? Allow it to let go. I've been saying for the past couple weeks, I did a PSA on this about beliefs, that we will hold on to beliefs, and sometimes we hold on to beliefs and we're outgrowing them, and so it's causing conflict in our lives. We've got to ask ourselves, are those beliefs serving me now, and are they actually right? And when I say right, are they correct in a sense of that's best for me and best for those around me? Is it right? Instead of defending the beliefs, challenge those beliefs and go back to basis, what you define love to really mean. Because you all know I hate cliches, love is love and, and all that stuff. And so it's like, what does that really mean, love is love? What do you define love to really be? Does it mean you're just like obsessed with somebody, or, you're an acceptance of one, or because you want to hug and kiss them? Like, let's go deeper with love really means. I see, my definition of love is acceptance, is that when you love someone and you love things, you accept them for where they're at and where they're going, and you just want to nurture them. See, within our society, we got to accept where people are at right now and nurture them too, no matter how extreme it becomes. This is the spiritual lesson we're faced with right now. With all the opposition that we have, we're challenged to say, can we still love and nurture the person to help them out of the frustration and chaos that they are in themselves? That would also help us collectively too. Instead of reacting, because a lot of us are just reacting because we have a deprivation of love. A lot of people with a right-left paradigm, some don't feel heard, some don't feel justified or validated. And so there's this fear and deprivation of love. So there's this reaction of people just crying for love. But what does that mean for you on an individual level? And on the individual level, does it coincide with your interactions with people in your external world too? And that's the going back to basics we need to start talking about now. Where do you identify when it comes to that? Have you been participating in your life in a way that aligns with that core basic of what love really means? And that love comes from the soul. That comes from the soul. We have all the information in the soul, in the heart. What do we want to define it to be? Soul, heart is kind of the nucleus of you. And so many people say, oh, excuse me, because I'm still dealing with sniffles with the lights. So many people say, oh, I listen to my heart too much. I got to follow my head. It's actually quite the reversed. Because the head wants to pacify, the head wants to receive, and the mind wants to really get into the motion of, I have to pacify the lack, and I need to have this in my life to feel good. That's head, that's not heart. Heart's balanced. Heart's like, I deserve, but I also protect. I express, but I also protect. That's the heart. The heart will make rational decisions. The brain does not. So a lot of people say, I just use my heart too much. No, you're using your head too much, and that's what's getting you into trouble. Because your heart knows how to protect you, knows how to express, but also puts you in balance with those around you that you interact with. That's the core of you, the core love that we're talking about. And so, with also the Eight of Cups in the second position, it's really talking about walking away from those things. So it's kind of like leaving behind that older identity. Like I was saying before, most people don't identify, I'm a lefty or a righty. Most people I don't really align with either one. I don't, for one. It's too divisive. That divisive energy. I don't support divisive energy. I support a spectrum of energy and belief and perspectives, a spectrum of such, because we all are kind of mingling the spectrum of reality, and all has its purpose. But understanding where you're leaving behind and what version of yourself you're leaving behind and what you're beginning to create yourself in a new version, and accept that, and accepting of such. So right now, with the Wheel of Fortune saying it is a new cycle, this is starting a new cycle. New identity means a new cycle. But now's not the time to get yourself heavily involved in people, because the Three of Pentacles in reverse is saying you might not want to start trying to identify through communities right now. You may not want to start identifying and rallying through communities and groups, and you might want to take a step back from that during this time and really kind of understand, let me shut out the echo chambers. Let me leave the echo chambers. And ask yourself, even if you are in an echo chamber, because you really care to evolve and make things better, you would want to question yourself to make sure you're not stuck in an echo chamber unconsciously. But now's the time to disassociate yourself from groups and identity groups and so forth, and go back within and say, but what is my identity? What do I truly feel and identify with? And when I say identity, I am not talking about the superficial level of identity. I'm talking about from the core heart soul of who you truly are as a being, as a soul consciousness. That's the soul I'm talking about. That's the identity I'm talking about. Not the fact that you have blue hair, this gender, or whatever. Those are conditional, identities that are valid, but they're just not what I'm talking about. So there's many people on other spectrums that might confuse that message. I'm talking about the identity of the soul consciousness within, the true heart. And they're saying right now it's time to relax and chill. So that's a simple part of this message too. Four of Swords, like, relax. Regenerate, take a breather, take a break from social media, except for Scott Cruz channel in the Cruisyverse. Tune in here. But really take a break from social media, take a break from the news. And I've been seeing a natural organic trend of people wanting to do so. Now's the time to do so. You should be surrounding yourselves with people that encourage you. You should be surrounding yourself with family members that encourage you, that support you, that give you insight. That's what you want to surround yourself with and surround yourself by, because we all need help. Even if we go in isolation mode, we still need assistance and guidance too, to help us to stay on that path of independence. So make sure you're finding those groups of people that support and align with your idea moving forward and bring you clarity in a very objective way for yourself, right? That's the simple message here. And the beginnings. It's all about new beginnings, baby. Okay, it's new beginnings. And so ask yourself, if you were to start something new and start a new beginning, open a new door, what would that be for yourself? Because at the end of the day, I always say, it's about if we're finding the balance or not. Let's go into that, because balance can be very cliche. Oh, yeah, balance. You say, balance. Yeah, okay, I hear it all the time, but people don't really know what it means. You want to embrace that you can actually say, yeah, I feel balance. How many of y'all can say you feel balance, right? And what is balance? You think focusing on left versus right is balance? I had someone try to justify to me, well, it's good versus evil, light versus dark. It's like, you're still being judgmental about people you don't know, classifying a whole group of people as left or right, and that's good and evil. That's not the fairy tale of reality. Life is not a fucking fairy tale like that. Life is a spectrum of things, and everything has its place for a reason, because we're all on different karmic paths. Everything is here for us to show to us where we need to evolve. Everything in society, I believe, this left versus right, are parts of our own soul consciousness that we feel divided over from previous incarnations. Actually, this is why we're experiencing the divide right now, because we all collectively have that internal divisive energy of self because of past unresolved. Either through past incarnations or this current incarnation, we got to resolve that divisive nature within ourselves. And I went back and forth, conservative, liberal, I back and forth in my day. And then I realized I had self-hatred I had my own internal homophobia I had to resolve. And so then I swayed another direction. And then I kept going back forward until I was able to find my balance. I'm like, there's truths in all those, and everything. There's truths in everything. But it's not about how you see the world needs to live. It's about seeing how you want to live and allowing others to see how they want to live and allowing that to be in harmony. And that be what's exciting about life, is that everyone has a different flavor. Let them have their flavor. That's wisdom, baby. Because we're here to gain more wisdom. Wisdom is more of soul evolution, soul growth. That wisdom comes from the soul and remaining objective of how the soul wants to express and experience itself through the dichotomy of things. But sitting here being segregated on political party lines and divides, and you shouldn't live that way, it's not morally right for me, that's not wise. That's nothing but two-dimensional, 2-bit brain cell bullshit. Oh, but my religion says being gay is wrong, so you're insane, so you can't live that way because I don't believe with that. That's bullshit, 2-bit bullshit. And so clearly the problem lies with the person, because what does somebody else's romantic life, sex life, have to do with your life? Okay? Same as, what does your religion have to do with my life? Take your religion. I don't give a fuck. So it goes, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, the same was, but that's the wisdom. And I'm going to be repetitive about this. I've always said, I have the right to be gay, live the life I want to live, and someone has the right to hate me for it. But why does there got to be any hate for anything that doesn't involve you? And this is what many people are suffering from right now. Other people's lives don't involve you. Get off your high horse. Stop being so goddamn arrogant. Other people's life has no concern to you whatsoever. And a parent to your children, if a children wants to go off and live the life they want to live, it's not your business what they want to do. It doesn't concern you. Your job is to be supportive and nurturing, period. Not to dictate how your child is supposed to live their fucking life. Let them live it the way they want to live. It's their life, isn't it? And so many people are behaving this way with other people in society. It's like, who are you to dictate how someone should live, experience, and express themselves? And the more you become intrusive on how someone else expresses themselves, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. So those who've been oppressed by people who are trying to dictate how you're supposed to live, understand they don't know who they are. And your strength of identity is actually threatening to them because it reflects more to them that they don't know who they are. So understand that part of it. So you want to be, entrench yourself in that evolution of wisdom so you know more of who you are, and that can influence people in a very positive way, in a loving way, to where people can be more objective. And shooting people down, and even when they don't believe them, if you allow them to express how they want to be and just show a different perspective, maybe people will be more open to change their idea without a fight. And that's what true balance is, guys. As I say it before, I'll say it again. I've said it all the time. It's about being objective and unaffected. And right now, no one's being objective and everybody's being affected. I can't tell you that the low intelligence I see in comments on pages and posts, and it's just like, and these people think they're taking a stand as they're doing exactly what they're preaching about, or preaching against, actually. It's hypocrisy all over the place. And so I always say, well, no wonder why people give me shit, because I'm not picking their side either way. I get crap from this side, I get crap from that side. It's like, well, that makes sense, because they're not balanced. I'm not helping them manage their balance, in a sense. My mom just texted me. What is she saying? She's saying something about what? Frozen. Am I frozen, you all? Yes, exactly. The opposite, objective and unaffected, is subjected and affected. Exactly. So that's what we said. So the question is, with all that said, can we unify the divides? Now, when we talk about society, what I'm talking about is exactly how you unify the divides. I just keep forgetting to change my things here. We have to want to understand that in order to unify the divide, we have to accept that there's always going to be a divide. There's always going to be a divide. There's always going to be someone who doesn't agree. That's okay. There's always going to be someone who's not going to approve of what you're doing. That's okay. But once we can evolve, we won't have the right to say, it's not my place to say if I approve of you or not. Do your thing. If we can accept, we're never going to agree. We're never going to unite in that sense. We actually will unify. I mean, it's the simple premise of going back to preschool saying, agree to disagree, guys. And what is a common denominator of agreement? We all just want to live and express ourselves the way we want to. Can we just agree with that and allow each other just to agree on that premise? Very simple. It's going back to preschool. But again, accept. You're not going to be, no one's going to accept you. No one's going to agree with you. And that's how you're going to unify, if we all can accept that. And come from that simple premise that we just all want to live the lives the way we see fit and not try to change anybody else. We'll unify. See, that's how you also unify your soul with the mind. Because, again, as I always say, the mind consciousness is just programs from your past experience in this lifetime. That logic isn't reliable. And just because you experience something in your past, your logic might actually create this intellect of, I have to avoid love at all costs. I use this example repetitively. And those of you who've never heard it, you're going to hear it now. Those of you who've heard it before, you're going to hear it again. Is that you have maybe been abused by a loved one growing up. And so your brain creates it logic. Well, to be loved is to be abused. So I need to avoid love at all costs. And that's your intellect. But is that rational? Does that help you? But when you go back within your soul and you realize the pain tells me I deserve better. The pain says no. Pain means no, I don't agree. So if you come from the soul and say, I don't agree with that abuse, and I don't agree that's what love is, and this is what I agree love to be, you then reprogram your mental intellect and upgrade it. That comes from the soul. That's syncing the soul expression based on what you've experienced in the physical. And you're designing your intellect based on what's coming from your heart and soul. That's how it has to start. That's where our perspectives need to derive from, is from the heart and soul. But the problem is everyone's coming from beliefs and ideas and ideologies and experiences and fear. And that's where all this stuff is just it's not fitting together here. Because again, love is an integrative energy. Positive energy is integrative, connecting energy. A disconnecting energy is negative energy. It's disconnected, segregating. So y'all disconnected and trying to connect with disconnection is not going to happen. If you all come in a state of love with self and love with others around you and have that live and let live, Christ, Yeshua-like energy, things will start connecting in a little better. I see why he sees what he's... And I don't even like ease up on people's perspectives and beliefs and start creating more of a unification of people saying, we all have one thing in common. We're here just trying to survive. We're trying to get it right. We're trying to do the best that we can. We're all trying to figure out our own challenges. Not everybody has it made and easy. Intellectually, mentally, physically, conditionally. That's compassion. And no, empathy is not a New Age made-up term, as been floating around. The word empathy came from 1909 by an American psychologist. It wasn't by a New Ageist. And the word empathy comes from a German term which means to look within. So false. Empathy was not a New Age made-up term. It was made by an American psychologist. Okay? And compassion is not weak either. Now... Sorry, guys, still with the sniffles, these lights. Now, we have to understand, too, that there's boundaries with empathy. There has to be boundaries with compassion, too. You can't just be empathetic to everybody. Have compassion for everybody. And so, yes, you can become weak with being overly compassionate. It's just with everything needs balance. So, but when we start with a core foundation and unify the soul with your mind, then you understand what that balance really is. Okay, and now it's time to start to ground ourselves, to understand what that new identity is from the heart, reprogram the intellect that we have, the rationale that we have, to align more with what's best for the soul individual, but also how can we really connect in with the collective so we can all coexist. That's the point. All right, keeping it simple, going back to preschool. Okay, but a lot of you guys understand this in the heart, and it's difficult. And those who have beliefs that that you were pushed into with religion and all these other things and upbringing, it's difficult to let go of those beliefs, but let your passion fuel it through. Because once you install those new beliefs, install the new ideas for yourself, then it'd be even difficult to let those go too. So be conscious of such, okay? All right, before we get into live readings, we have a simple message from Nina. It's been some time, so here's a quick message from Nina.
What is up, Thursday crew? I got a channel message tapped and fresh just for you. When I'm tapping into this energy, I get a very, very strong cocoon type of vibe. It's a two-layered message. It almost feels like I'm hearing cocooning and doing self-regulating activities going into this week. There's something about you are about to emerge. And my guides show me this imagery of being hung up on closed doors or closed previous opportunities or previous connections. And it feels almost as if this eclipse energy is just bringing that all up to have its final washout. And during this final washout, there is a bit of fatigue energy or restless energy or not sure where to pivot next. And the guides are saying the channel message that comes through is that's normal. Honor that cocoon time for yourself. Because after that, when you emerge fully out, you're going to be fully hydrated, regulated, cozy, and with a better sense of direction. And then the other message that kept coming through as well really circulated around during this cocoon time, being able to discern between the fear and between what's real. And a lot of collective fear keeps coming through, a lot of collective fears around safety potentially, or around being comfortable and misconstrue type energy. And all of that, Spirit's saying, when you're in your own cocoon energy and feeling your own intuition, you're going to be better able to discern between what is actual reality. But first you need that rest, and you need to know that those closed opportunities were closed for a reason, and that your guides and Spirit with 111 energy is guiding you on a new path forward.
Okay, exactly. And so cocooning, grounding, parallel there, Nina. Yeah, and a wonderful addition, because yes, Nina's correct. Like sometimes things will close the door because it's not the door for you to go through. So, so there's no missed opportunity. It's and availability. But again, there's a conveyor belt of opportunity in life, and so not everyone is for you. And it's the fact that there's opportunity, be thankful for that. But sometimes we have to get a peak of an opportunity and then like reset and recalibrate. So yes, cocooning, as Nina says it, and grounding is the time right now. And so wonderful message. All right, get your questions in, guys. We don't have much in today, but get them in now because we'll be closing it down, and I don't want it to be all in last minute. So get them in now. Okay. First, we have a question from Kathleen Kate, right? I am feeling at loss on which direction to go after my job ends at the airport in October. The question's vague. I mean, we got to be. Let me help you guys on the questions. Crazy coconut cocoon. Yes. When you guys ask questions for live, it's got to be specific, like what this. But direction to go after your job is in October. Like that's too vague of a question. So, I mean, I don't know which aspect you're saying. Direction with work, direction personally, direction. Like there's so much variables on that, but. I don't know what you're trying to question there. Just sounds more like an anxiety question. Oh, things are ending. What do I do? I think you should take the time. Based on the vague question, though, that I feel like this, because if I feel like there needs to be time for chill pill. Take a chill pill after October and really refocus on, what the purpose is outside of working working at the airport in a sense. So it's kind of more guidance in this sense about, going back within. I wouldn't jump into another position or jump into another endeavor. I would take the time to refresh. I would take the time, like I said, in the collective read for you personally to figure out what your new identity is outside of that. Once you do, then I feel that there would be a new, exciting. It's funny because I disconnecting from the airport, I still feel traveling in a different sense, like traveling in a different modality, maybe more for leisure, traveling in a way that is pleasurable and getting yourself into different environments that you actually are choosing. So I just see a lot of that introspection and expression in that way. And so then you could decide from that point any type of creative business that you want to start at that point and how to get that going and what that might be with the creative business. Again, that would require like a full-on 45-minute read. Right now, that's such a vague question that I'm just trying to do the best I can to assist on a vague question that has so much open-ended responses to. That's where I'd start in that regard. Your purse is lost in the airport last flight. Did you see me getting it back? I don't do objects, guys. I've said it before. I'm not an object. I read consciousness and souls. Objects don't have anything to it. But I feel like, though, because objects are 50-50 because I'm not reading souls. So I try to say, take your soul energy and make the connection to the purse to try to see if it's actually locatable. But I feel like you'll find something from it, but not all of it. It feels like, because I feel like someone went through the purse too. Like I feel like someone went through it, looked through it, and maybe removed something, then maybe turned in it. So I feel like you might get partial pieces of it back. I feel like so. But that's kind of like what I feel kind of about it because it's not a person. I'm good at reading people. Objects, I'm always like, I can 50-50 pick up on an object. The times I felt something right, but the times I didn't really feel anything, I just didn't go with it. But that's kind of my initial, like I feel like something will be returned. I feel, in that sense. May not be all of it or some of it. That's kind of what I feel on that. But yeah, guys, understand like psychic questions like, will my ring get found? It's like, that's not really psychic related questions if it's just an object. Or people say, where's my ring? It's like, I don't know, where is it? Or sometimes it's just glitches in reality where a ring, something gets lost and like they look everywhere. And then I remember telling one person the last time, I said, just focus on you have it again. And then she found it and it was in a place she looked thousands of times. So sometimes things kind of just disappear, like there's a glitch in reality. I've noticed it's my only explanation when it comes to objects sometimes when they just disappear. I've had things disappear in my room that never left my room. I never found it even when I moved out. I'm like, I don't know what, specific things. And sometimes we alter reality. There's glitches and things just kind of relocate. I've seen, and I'm usually not that hokey with that stuff, but I do understand, sometimes objects relocate in that sense. So, but I just feel someone finding it and turning it in with that purse thing. But But yeah, it's interesting. And so I've helped people find things by just envisioning that something is found or returned in that feeling. So that's always been my explanation, because I'm like, I don't know what happened to this object. And then they find it in a place they've been looking forever. It's very interesting, those things. And that's been my conclusion. Well, there must have been a glitch. I've seen glitches, witnessed glitches, in my day to understand, yeah, there are glitches. This is a holographic reality. It doesn't mean it's fake. It means this is holographic. I mean, everything on the subatomic particle level and subatomic level is in empty space. So it's all vibratory, even though the experience of it is dense, right? So if you've altered a lot in your reality, there could be massive changes, but maybe there's that one little thing that doesn't get, parallel into the new version that you create of reality. So, there's a lot of that interesting stuff. That's why with objects, it's hard sometimes with that, because sometimes there's a reality glitch that's occurred. But the UK, Kathleen, is really focused on, like I said before, great foundation, finding your new identity where you stand. I feel more traveling on more of a recreational way. And then starting a creative endeavor, business or something like that, following suit that you'll enjoy. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Everything's so vague with the questions with that. So I'm trying to do this again with time. Okay. Next is Kristen Villarreal. Villarreal. I'm trying to say when they say Stephanie Panaharara. Villarreal. Okay. One, Kristen says, I made the career jump and finally started my own business. Great. Simple living spaces. But I've been working on a business plan for investors for a business idea I have involving custom baskets. Do you see this going in the right direction for me and generating steam? Simple living spaces and I find custom baskets. The basket thing, I never want to disencourage anybody from doing something, but if you connect the custom baskets with the organization of spaces, yes, but on its own, But if it's connected with the simple living spaces idea, then yeah, like you want to find a way to make it connected with the main business idea, is what they're saying. Like, don't like be separate with it. I mean, you can to a degree, but make sure it's also coincides. So like, here's simple living spaces. Here's also custom baskets that we offer if you'd like. And so if it's in conjunction to, they're saying, when it comes to the baskets, custom baskets. But I think, again, you know, selling the idea of making, you know, the cleaning of space and organization of spaces, you know, a way that actually really is not just baskets, but other things too. I feel like it becoming more of that, where it can make it easier for people with organization. So yeah, on its own, no, but in conjunction to your living, the simple living spaces that you stated, as we've been talking about, of making things clean organization, then yeah, and then you also understand there could be other things that you can coincide with that as well, and have a kind of a more multi-dynamical business in that sense. So yeah, think of it in that context. So for sure. Okay. Yeah, baskets are actually a good product. Yeah, it's a good product, but we have to understand not all good products sell either. Intuitive raise, okay? Some good products just they don't find the right connection. I mean, I spent a lot of time with watching Shark Tank, you know, but to me, it's more about how you position it. And my lights just went off. I don't know if they turn off at this time in here, and it kind of annoys me. I think my partner set a timer on that. But it's about how you position it, and that's how their spirit's saying to position it. And I think when you think of that context, yeah. But I think you're in the right direction with all of that, actually, especially with the living space and the organization, all that stuff, it's in the right direction. So continue with such. Okay. Okay, moving forward. I'm not going to pay attention to that. Okay, next we have a card pull for Allie Taylor. Shuffling these cards for Allie Taylor. Oh, we're into live readings. I need someone else to help me to adjust my little signs up there. Shuffling just a card for Allie. Just whatever it shows. I know Allie gets it. We talked about you today last weekend, Allie. We watched the Poltergeist movie, and I go to Eric and says, "Doesn't that look like Allie if Allie was a child?" He's like, "Oh my god, yeah." So you actually were in our hearts this weekend, Allie, with Eric and I. I was like, well, I miss Allie. Where's Allie been? So I'll just shuffle these cards for Allie. I don't know. I keep seeing the Lover's card coming out, but I'm just going to just wait one more time. Yeah, interesting. Okay, these all came out, so it's trying to paint a picture. Okay? Did you really find a picture of you at that age? Please, I would love to see that, Allie, a picture of you at that age. So I pulled more than one, Allie, because there seems to be a story here. Fool card. Death card. Ooh. Death is a transformation. So the Fool card is saying there's a new beginning going here. There's a death, an older version that's a death, which makes sense actually if you kind of like look in older pictures. Perhaps you are feeling this rebirth within you. Okay. Four Swords is kind of enjoyment, but in this case, when it comes to the Lover card, it's actually kind of telling you you're actually making some sort of an individual shift with your identity, right? You're starting anew, but I feel like this is opening a time for you to like enjoy recreation. I think you've had a lot of, focus on legality, a lot of focus on getting things in order. And so I think the next phase is, open to relationships and meeting somebody new. The Four of Swords in this is not so much about rest, it's more about kind of like relaxation, but regeneration in the sense of enjoyment, right? And with the Lover's card coming in the final position, it's really kind of saying like that this is going to welcome in new relationships, not just romantically, but even with friendships. So I think, I do feel psychically too, there might be someone around the corner that will have some sort of romantic interest with you, or even a rekindling, I feel, of a relationship. But that rekindling could be someone you met before that was nice, but didn't turn into something, but then you meet up again and it turns into something. So that's a new chapter. But, with the Fool and Death card side by side, you've completed a lot karmically, but also you've completed a lot when it comes to the logistics of certain parameters that you might still be going through, but you've completed a lot, and so you kind of own that now and say this next chapter is about enjoyment and let's start building relationships. But I feel romance is around the corner. Now, around the corner could be in the next 6 to 8 months. Okay, just saying. Okay, so I kind of like that. I enjoy that for you. All right, which feels light, I would say, in that case. But yeah, again, card pulls are meant to be simple. And we have Beth N. card pull. Yes, James, your new identity is the identity that you're going to beat yourself up over everything, or is your identity going to be like, you know what, I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to push on forward, right? Simple. So what's the new identity, James? Do you want to push through and say, I don't want to be, knocked over by circumstance. I want to like push through. You could choose. What's your identity, Jamesy Wamesy? Okay, for Beth N, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Pentacles. Now, there's something that comes to me psychic behind this. I feel like there's a new turn of people in your life, like a new cycle of people about to come through, and there's people that need to leave. So there might be friendships that you might be on the surface on that's saying like, I don't know if these friendships are working. Are they loyal to me? Are they in the right position in my life? So I feel like there's gonna be people that need to go and new people coming in. So there's this new cycle when it comes to friendships. Now, Three of Pentacles is kind of my communal card, or people who have similar interests. So, but I like to kind of interpret that in so many different ways. But to me, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like there's a new cycle of people coming in your life. So, if you're feeling any trepidation with relationships, be objective with those relationships and say to yourself, how much further can they go? Do I need to make space for people that are more supportive, more in alignment to my own interests? It's time to be introspective about that, because you might find that things might start occurring in those relationships that might be overt to say, it's time for that relationship to go. And at the same time, new coming in. So the replacement of such. So it feels like it's not that you push people in, you're alone for a while. You might find that's going, new coming in. So new cycle of relationships and friendships and community seems to be the message they want to bring to you, simplistically, through the cards. Okay. Which is exciting. I think that, again, it can be difficult to let go of friendships that have been around for a while, but it's like, the longevity of a relationship should not dictate whether or not they stay or not. It's the respect and the growth of a relationship should be what dictates the longevity of it, not the fact, oh, we had this only years together. But so I feel like that's nice flipping in that sense. All right, next we have a wonderful question for Beth. All right, we have 2 more left, guys, and so get your questions if you want to get in. Don't hesitate. Otherwise, when we're done with these 2, we're done. We're shutting it down. Okay, so question from lovely Beth. We all love you, Beth. Beth, good to hear from you, see if you. Your question is, I'm back dating the same man again. Beth. While we were together, did he hook up with an odd acquaintance of mine with short blonde hair? What about skinny older woman who stares and spied on me before? I think you asked this question last week, and I said yes. There was interactions with the woman, the blonde hair. Whether it be full on, intimacy, but I feel like there's some sort of flirtation there, and that's nothing new. And so, I would advise you to think twice about interacting with this gentleman. That's all I'm going to say. I'd advise you to think twice, because I think, again, there's a level of imbalance there. I feel like it's kind of like what he does is fine, but you can't do what he does. It feels just imbalance in that way, unfair. And that the older woman that you're talking about, I just feel like he has, maybe I feel like she felt like maybe he led her on, not necessarily did anything, but like there's interactions. She got jealous and fell for him because maybe he gave her attention. So that now she feels somehow like jealous and, speculative of you. And so it's just, how old are we here? I mean, with these people, like, are we back in like middle school here? So these things should be of no concern to you. And if someone is provoking this amount of distrust within you, or provoking this amount of question and disloyalty, you should not be spending time with it. So I'm just going to leave it there. So, but he has been dabbling around since your separation. So why would you want to go back and jump back into that pool? I would say, Beth, you should not. Okay. Because it's not going to change. It's going to continue. Next question is from Linda H. As always, thank you for being here. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for being here, Linda H. I don't really have a question, but a few weeks ago, you told me finances would improve around September 14th, 17, and you were spot on. It was a great relief, and I couldn't be more grateful for your vision, just paying it forward. Oh, that's sweet of you. So, thank you. So being that you're just sent it to validate me, let me just pull a card for you. I'll pull a card for you in exchange for that. Yeah. Take my mom's advice, Beth. Run. Run. It's funny, it's like 3 exclamation points, so like run for the 3rd time. But okay, Lynn, I'll pull a card for you. Thank you for that appreciation. And I'm glad that the prediction came to play. The prediction came to tuition, because prediction is very challenging for real psychic, because not everything is really predictable. And so when I make predictions, especially with dates, it's because it's really there. Sometimes there's a bracket when it comes to prediction, so people have to understand there's different variables with prediction, and there is something called randomness in life and reality. That's otherwise I'd be predicting lottery numbers, but there is something called randomness. That does exist in life, where things just happen randomly that aren't predictable. Welcome to reality, people. So, but at least I am at least well crafted in what I do to let people know, this is not rendering a result right now. Here's what you can do to put it in your favor, yada, 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 So, thanks, love. Remember, like, it's inspiration, but remember, you did the work, right? You did the work. Like, you were open, and so you did the work. So, but what you got next card pull, Linda, was 4 of Wands. So they're really saying to put the emphasis on home or new home energy. Okay. So I kind of feel both. There might be a thought ahead to maybe move in 2026, or redo the home life. right? So they're saying new emphasis on home life. So sometimes when I get this mixture of energy, it's like it's just like maybe you created just a new space where you're at now, or there's actually is a new space. So it's in the middle. So maybe both, or it might be either or. So pay attention. And you know, the hangman in the reverse position, is that reversed? Yeah, I'm trying to show the camera. Like, is it? Which position? You know, don't get yourself entangled with things that are contrary to your own spiritual growth. Right? Because I think there's a need to pacify within you that can turn your own beliefs and perspectives upside down, which prevents your own evolution. Don't do that. Make sure you understand you're here to fulfill your life the way you deem necessary. Now how others' opinions or how maybe your joy might affect somebody else who needs you. Like, get out of all that. And allow yourself to be more focused and put the emphasis on this is your modality. This is your growth. And the things that you experience in life, the pleasures that you have in life is part of your soul expression. It needs to be expressed, right? So let that be a tipping point for you, saying, well, people who support me, love me, would support and love what I want to do. Right? And so... and I love that the star card comes with the death card, right? So it's basically saying that, you know, for me, because the death card came first with the stars, reversed on the camera, is that, you know, you're making a transformation. It's time to put those things to rest. And the star card is really about putting yourself first, and putting the emphasis on you. And I like to take the star card quite literal and reads like this, because you do need to be the center right now. And don't make excuses not to, they're saying. All right, Linda. So those are the cards for you. Let me just double check, make sure there's no other questions, and we'll wrap this up here. I got to refresh because, you know, you would think that things would auto refresh in 2025, right? Okay, good. So that concludes the questions, guys. If you want to get a question, get them in now because we're closing up, and I definitely want to. Yes. Or put an emphasis, Linda, on making it anew. Like your new environment, you know, I think that's a wonderful way to put that, you know, creating your foundation for yourself and putting your personal touch. That does a lot for us when we do that. It sounds simple, but these little things that we do in our life bring a lot of great change. And so, all right. Okay. In closing, what are my final thoughts? It's like reminds of Jerry. Remember Jerry's final thoughts from Jerry Springer? Scott's final thoughts. Where's and I also have sound effects somewhere. I don't even know they are anymore. I wish here. Scott's final thoughts. Wait a minute, it didn't work. Wait, I'll tell you again. Scott's final thoughts. Wait, there we go. A little harp, or I could say Scott's final thoughts and so. I don't know. Anyways, it's my final thoughts. Guys, it's a heavy, dense month this month. But there's a lot of business to that too, right? And so, you know, if there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things shifting, and there's a lot of goodness too, because, you know, your business might need to be that you don't need to be busy right now. Maybe you guys have been lazy before. Now you need to take a stand and get busy and start expressing. So there's going to be a duality to things, but understand it's a very dense month, and that we have to find ways, no matter what end of the spectrum you are, if you have to learn to relax, or if you have to learn to step up, that you have to understand how to really ground yourself in the process. And so when you do, we can take advantage, like I always say, of this the astrological occurrence, so we can better ourselves and bring more in tune, going with the flow. See, when people say going with the flow to me means that you're understanding the collective currents and how it interacts and coincides with your individual personal journey and expression. Right? And when we do that, we're in sync with the energetic currents. Collectively, individually, it all feels in sync. And that's what synchronicity really is. And so, but the only way you can do so is also to ground yourself. So many people are so out there in fluffy duffy woo land that they're lost. They're gone. They're like a balloon that's floated away. And when you're not grounded in physical reality, we don't enjoy the rewards and results of physical reality and what we really intended to come here for. We'll just feel kind of lost and detached, and I don't know, and just, you know, I question everything, and, you know, and so understand, learn how to be grounded and unifying your soul heart expression in the process, and you got it. It's all good in the hood. City Aaron, oh my, good to see you, my love. So glad you're there. And so I appreciate all you guys for coming. I did post a PSA a couple of days ago. If you didn't see it, you know, watch again. I kind of said it in the beginning of this live show about my perspective on things. And so I want you guys also to the best you can to neutralize the divide and whatever your experience. Try to find a way to neutralize and be as diplomatic as you can and objective for people around. Because even people are being polarized, there's a lot of fear on either side, which keeps them in the polarization. That's their safety zone. And we're here to teach to others to understand, to be safe in objectivity and be comfortable in all that is. In all that is. Okay? All right. Well, what do you guys wish I close with? A frequency meditation? A song? I don't even have rescue on here at all. But actually, no, I'll close up with one of my frequency meditations. I do have frequency meditations and hypnosis audios on my website too. But here's like a 4-minute of a frequency meditation I created that's more for an alignment of mind, body, and soul. So perhaps just take a couple of minutes of downtime and enjoy the repetitive frequency tone, get you in alignment with your mind, body, and soul. So close your eyes during this time, and I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you all next week because it'll be a closing of September, so we'll have a lot to do to talk about how to prepare for October and Libra season, all that great stuff. So I'll see you all next week. And if you missed LOL, check it out also. Yesterday, LOL is every Wednesday night. So if you missed the last night's episode, check it out. It's on my page too. And like, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. Help this channel to build. I love and appreciate all you guys. Remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Let's enjoy this really quick frequency meditation I've created for you all to align the mind, body, and soul. Good night, guys.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.